Hello friends. My name is Jose Luis, and in this opportunity, I'm going to show you how to make a beautiful floating corner shelf. I want to point out some details. You can see that I have stained the edge of this wood with a dark oak universal ink dissolved in water. If you observe the video that I prepared, you will see that I diluted a little bit of ink in a jar of water and mixed it well. I only stained the edge, and I also did it before sanding the face or surface. Before using the orbital or belt sander, we ensure that there are no stains on the wood because the sander will eliminate them and leave everything clean. Once the shelf is assembled, you can apply a coat of varnish or a thin layer of lacquer. Be careful not to apply too much, especially in the part where the ink is. If you apply too much, it could peel off. In the lighter part, give it a sanding with 180 grit sandpaper along the wood grain, and then apply a second coat of varnish or lacquer. Repeat this process until you have applied 3 or 4 coats of varnish or nitrocellulose lacquer, or any other lacquer you are familiar with. I will leave the measurements at the end of the video. Let's get to work. We are going to mark the corner shelves on a 2 meter 30 centimeter long board. We will use a double square at a 45-degree angle, taking into account the vertices to make the marks. Each corner shelf should measure 27 centimeters wide by 2 meters 30 centimeters long. This way, we will obtain 7 corner shelves, making the most of the board. We start cutting slowly with a jigsaw, making sure to follow the cutting line and starting at the vertex with great care. We make all the cuts on the line. Once we have cut the 7 corner shelves, we place them in a square at the vertices and secure them with a clamp. Let's make sure they fit well at the vertex, and if necessary, we can give them small taps and lift them slightly from the bottom to adjust them. I want to show you that I am working with the planer, and the 2 surfaces are practically even. The blades barely touch the wood without splintering because they are sharp. By touching it slightly, they won't cause any significant splintering. Basically, they will just polish the wood. Then, we change the position of the pieces and sand them on the front side, using either the belt sander or sanding by hand. We check that they are well polished and arrange them before giving them a final touch. We use 80 grit sandpaper and then 180 grit sandpaper. Next, we start staining the edge with a dark oak universal ink dissolved in water to achieve a dark tone. We apply 1 coat and wait for it to dry a bit. Once dry, we sand it gently with 180 grit sandpaper and apply another coat of ink. This way, the edge will have a nice dark color. Remember that we still should not sand the faces of the board. We wait for the ink to dry correctly and then proceed to sand them. Now, let's work on the pieces that will serve as the uprights. We place the pieces in a square and secure them with clamps. We use the belt sander to polish them a bit, and we stain them in the same way as before. Once we have the pieces with the front side stained, we start assembling the shelf. We lift the vertex a little to make it a 90-degree angle. We use a pilot drill bit and screw them together with 52 mm long screws, also known as 5 cm screws with a 2 mm diameter. I pass the sandpaper to remove some of the ink, and then we proceed with the assembly. Once we have screwed one side, we proceed to screw the other side and then the top part. We repeat this process for each of the 3 shelves. You will see that the shelves are supported and well fitted. We place them aside and get ready to assemble the next shelf. Once this is done, we leave it aside because we are going to assemble it in 2 parts. I make sure which side to continue screwing because we should not do it the other way around. We assemble the 4 triangle shelves individually and then join them to form a longer floating shelf. Now, I look for a scrap piece to support the piece while I screw it. I place it at the vertex, drill a hole with the pilot drill bit slightly angled but just a little bit to avoid it coming out on the inside, and then I screw it. I remove the support and flip the piece to drill it with a 5 mm diameter drill bit, so I can screw it to the wall. Well, friends, the floating corner shelf is ready. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. I will be responding to you. See you in the next video. Bye bye.